Hey guys, I want to talk to you today about the pineal gland. The pineal gland is something very important to talk about, regardless of the fact if you are into neuroscience or not. This goes far beyond that. This is basically a little tiny gland stated in between the two hemispheres. It's like a pine cone shaped gland, like this type of shape, type of gland. That's why I have a lot of little pine cones around me, symbolic of the pineal gland. And basically, that pineal gland, scientifically talking, is in charge of the secretion of melatonin and serotonin, which is your sleeping and awake cycles and your feeling good type of cycles. It also releases DMT, which is psychedelic, found in plants and in animals, which is seen to be released at the time when you're born and at the time that you die. That's why some people come with these afterlife experiences when they are in this type of almost death situations. And so there is also some philosophical topics about the pineal gland and its depths. Descartes called it the little small gland that is the seat of the soul that contains the spirit. And also you can see it in Egyptian's hieroglyphics as the eye of the Horus and the story behind it. So it's a very symbolic connotation. Just to go a little further, you see it also depicted in as the Pinocchio movie. And I love this beautiful resemble the Santos Bonacci did about the Pinocchio, explaining the name of the movie, and the entire movie depicts the actual function of the pineal gland. Pinocchio, if you break the name into parts, is Pino, the pine, the pineal gland, and occhio, oculus, the Greek word for eye, the third eye. Pinocchio, your third eye, your pineal gland. And so basically what they're trying to say, and they explain, is how Pinocchio used to be a puppet, a wooden, lifeless puppet controlled by strings. And that's where the stories start going deeper. So if you want to understand the function of the pineal gland, it's beautiful to listen, read, or watch the story of Pinocchio. Pinocchio wanted to be a real boy, but he wasn't. He was just a puppet, controlled by strings. And he was being deceived by friends, by society. He was lied and used to lie. He was following the circles and the shows of life. He was not real. He was getting deeper and deeper into everything that keep him not real, keep him a puppet in that society. And you see the resemble of the lies and the nose growing. The nose resembles, or is a symbolic version of the clouds in your brain that keep you blind from seeing. Then you see the beautiful blue fairy trying to help him, trying to get him into the path of enlightenment, let's just say, with representing the divine intervention, the path of enlightenment, and try to make him activate his pineal gland and become real. That's us, trying to become real in society. And it's a beautiful story about him becoming a real person by getting rid of all these things that were blinding him during all his life and making him suffer in the everyday illusion of not being himself. So just like Pinocchio, the act of lying to ourselves and continue living in a lie keep us remaining in a state of a wood puppet, a lifeless organism that is controlled by external functions and external environment. So how to become enlightened, how to wake up your pineal gland, how to wake up your third eye. There are different techniques that help us, like spiritual techniques like meditation, frequencies and sounds help, like these vowel sounds. They help a lot. Meditation helps a lot. We have, most of us has our pineal gland calcified by our living habits and by our environment, like water. Water is extremely important. What we drink is a huge percentage in our body, and that contains fluoride. And what fluoride does is it calcifies your pineal gland. It has a calcification process called calcium phosphate crystals that start developing in our pineal gland. And you can see pictures of pineal gland that have been calcified and how hard and lifeless they look. Fluoride does that. We have that in water. We have that in our toothpaste. We have that when we go to the dentist. Also certain foods, especially processed food, sugars, toxics in the environment, and toxics that we see them spreading all the time as to fumigate and stuff like that. They are calcifying our pineal gland. We see fluoride water in kids tap water in schools, calcifying their pineal gland before they started even developing, which is very sad because it's really altering their states. And then you'll see an alteration in sleep patterns because it also alters melatonin. There have been studies, animal studies, that fluoride alters the release of melatonin in animals, causing them to completely disrupt their sleep patterns. And of course, that creates a ripple effect, causing mood swings, changes in behavior, ADHD, stress levels going up, and a bunch of things. The pineal gland has to do with a lot of our internal regulation, and it's being altered for our own good. But it's time to sometimes wake up and see what is happening. And I'm gonna tell you how to try to decalcify it, because thanks God it's not permanent. It's something that is not completely screwed if you actually alter it. You can cure it, for a lack of a better word. You can decalcify it by certain patterns of behavior. So how to decalcify the pineal gland? There are a few steps that you can do to prevent it and to let them calcify it and continue being a puppet in society. You can start with the most easiest one, which is the water that you ingested. Start drinking filtered, fluoride-free water, and also fluoride-free toothpaste to avoid that. Also, your diet. Try to focus more on organic foods that contains vitamin K2, magnesium, and iodine. That will help as well cleanse your pineal gland. Natural sunlight is important. It's vital, actually. Natural sunlight in the morning, especially, because that regulates your cycle pattern of bedtime as well, and your melatonin starts secreting at the right time. Also spiritual practices like meditating and yoga, frequencies and vibrations, as I explained, like the singing vowels or chanting. This type of frequencies also helps you relax and reconnect. Once you start doing these practices and try to avoid it as much as possible to get to get intoxicated, you will realize how you start awakening it. You'll see how you start becoming more in connection with everything. You start thinking outside the box, out of the sudden, become more creative. Problems will be a lot easier to solve because you're in a calm state. Again, you're releasing serotonin. You are more calm, being able to analyze things in a better state of mind. You will become more in connect with nature and connect with everything. Colors will become more vibrant. Sounds will become more clear. You'll feel more alive. You'll feel more enlightenment. It's beautiful once you get out of the box and for a mean way to say it, stop becoming a puppet. It's pay attention to the stories are everywhere. They're giving us signs everywhere. Look at history, look at the hidden messages, read in between the words when you try to find the truth. And you'll see it. And when I do it, I like to share it. So I wanted to share a little bit about a little pineal gland. Thank you.